Hi, seniors. I absolutely forgot to record what we went over today in class, so here I am going over it again for you. We talked about thesis statements and where you should be at in your paper right now. So I want to go over just what we talked about in class so that you feel up in the know. So if we're under week 3, in our juvenile justice module folder, you'll find a couple things. So, of course, these have been there the whole time. This is the final paper prompt and the instructions. And then I just recently, yesterday, added this outline. You'll see that it's totally optional, but a couple of people had reached out to me showing some concern, like how many paragraphs is this supposed to be? How am I supposed to know where things are going? So I made rather this paper outline. And it looks like this. It's nothing fancy, but you can see on the left hand, it's every paragraph kind of broken down, and that's all taken directly from your prompt. I've added a little bit more, like, you may choose to incorporate this, and down here in the evidence, don't forget to do rebuttals and use they say, I say assignments. So by the time you get to the very bottom, your essay is looking like about 9 paragraphs. And I mentioned in class that this is the longest essay. This is the biggest one. So once we're done with this one, it'll be almost smooth sailing. So stick with me. You guys are all brilliant, and I know you can do it. So here's where you should really be on your paper, according to the calendar. So I had you do activity 9, which was the research slides. The only reason that I was having you do that is so that you have this history and context ready to write your first 3 to 4 paragraphs. So you'll see that all of the questions you've been researching and everything you looked up for activity 9 is what fits in paragraphs 1 through 3, maybe 4 if you do the optional. Okay, so you should have already started working on that yesterday. And if you're tracking with us, today was going to be the day to finish that up and begin writing what would be paragraph 5, where you state your position and your thesis statement. So I wrote here, you should introduce like why this is such a hot debate and a controversial topic that we still talk about today, and then choose your position. Remember, the question is, should juveniles ever be tried as adults with life without parole? You decide yes or no. Remember, you're only choosing one side. And then you'll write your thesis. After that, you're going to go through and do your evidence, and then, of course, a conclusion. We're going to start talking about evidence and conclusion next week. Your paper is due Wednesday, so this is just to keep you on track. So what we went over today was my advice for writing a thesis statement, because some of you are concerned, maybe you don't have a lot of experience writing a thesis statement for a big essay like this. So I wanted to go over it and give you some information. So this is what I showed in class. This slide here is all on thesis statements. And the example is from a 10th grade essay, but it'll still serve the purpose, and you can see what we were talking about. So the thesis, if you don't know, or it's been a while since you've played around with this word, is the main argument of your essay. It's where you're sticking your position, yes or no. In an argumentative essay, that's the most important piece. The thesis is the most important piece of your essay. It's going to be written at the very end of your thesis paragraph. This one here says of your intro, but for the sake of this essay, you already have some intro, you have some context in that history. So it should be written as the last sentence of your 5th paragraph, or 4th, depending where it falls, right? If you're doing the optional. But in your thesis paragraph, it's the very last sentence. And my recommendation to you is to include 3 claims in your thesis statement. So instead of just saying, yes, juveniles should be tried as adults with life without parole, it will help you organize your essay, and it will help bring a lot of clarity for your reader, as if I was not your only reader. It'll just keep things really structured, and it will elevate your writing. It will make you sound very intelligent, like I know you are. So let's take it back a step. First, you decide yes or no. You stick your position, you claim your position. Okay, then I ask you, so you don't think that juveniles should be tried to life without parole. Tell me why. Give me 3 reasons why they should not be, or why they should be. right? You're going to start going through your head, all of the things we've talked about, the articles we've read, the cases we've looked at, and you're going to come up with 3 solid reasons why your position is right. And then you're going to put it all into one sentence. So if you look at the example here, the question that the 10th graders once had was, should the military draft be reinstated? Here's my example. The military draft should not be reinstated. There's my position. Because 1, it costs too much money. 2, it ruins the lives of unwilling soldiers. And 3, it will result in a lack of a motivation when fighting in the war. So you'll see that I have C1, C2, C3. Those are your 3 claims, your 3 reasons why your side is the way. So hopefully that makes sense. Use this as an example, but try to get your sentence to start with your position and then lay out why. What that's going to do for you is you're going to lay out your 3 reasons, and those are going to become your topic sentences. So now, after you write your introduction, you write your thesis with your claims, your very next paragraph is writing your first body evidence paragraph. What's that going to be? Let me show you. So right here, you write your position and thesis. Boom, now you're here. It says paragraph 1, reason number 1 in evidence. So what's your first reason for choosing this side? Step 1. Step 2, find one piece of evidence from our articles, from research, something you find that supports you. And then you're going to have to address the counterclaim. But since your thesis already lays out the 3 ideas that you have, it's just going to be so easy to write your next paragraphs. Paragraph 6 is going to be reason 1, paragraph 7 is going to be reason 2, and paragraph 8 is going to be reason 3. And since you've already written it, you'll already have your body, your body paragraph topic sentences. So let's look one more time at the thesis. The military draft should not be reinstated because it costs too much money, ruins the lives of unwilling soldiers, and will result in a lack of motivation when fighting in the war. So my first claim is this. It shouldn't be reinstated because it costs too much money. So now I need to take that and start that as my topic sentence. And really easy, if you want to get crafty with it and you're comfortable going a little bit further with your writing, please do. But all I did here is the military draft should not be reinstated because it would cost too much money. It sounds repetitive, but that means that you're really organized and you're on topic. You often will hear that repetition is not a good thing. But in the sake of your thesis and your topic sentences, it's okay because that means you're following your order and your organization. So that's essentially what we talked about in class today, and the rest of the time was just working and drafting time. Let me show you one last thing is our calendar. Oops. And if you notice, we're at the end of the week. So you should have been beginning intro. Today was a paper work day, so you should have been trying to draft your thesis. And when I say begin evidence, if you found your 3 claims, you've already started your evidence. And that's about as far as you should be. I would really, really encourage you to catch up on this over the weekend or on Monday because the paper is due Wednesday and the biggest part of your paper is probably going to be the evidence. So get as far as into it as you can so that when we meet again next week, we're close to being finished, right? We can start doing some like revisionary work. And that's all we talked about today. So I'm so sorry that I didn't record the live meeting, but this should suffice and help you with your thesis statements or let you come back and revisit that thesis statement encouragement.